You guys okay?
Hey, you really think you've got time to be worrying about them? You ain't getting out of this one, Rean.
All right, bring it on! It's time to settle this, Crow! Bring it on!
This'll be a tough one. Be careful.
Okay. Head? Wow, like I'm doing a grand damage.
There! Gotcha!
Guessing this is another battle I'm supposed to lose.
Handle this?
Oh wow, I missed.
Eat this! Hope you're ready.
This is bad.
Jesus, I'm getting screwed.
Let's go! Gotcha!
Yeah, I'm not supposed to win this one, am I?
Darkness!
Especially when he has like 2 billion CP. Spams every bloody turn.
Hang in there.
Settled enough for you? You didn't even bother to use that trump card of yours.
He wasn't even trying last time, then was he?
Come on. With the way you are now, I don't even need to try. I'll always win. And that, Rean, perfectly illustrates just how massive the gulf between us is. Maybe you think you've had it tough up till now. But you're gonna need to go through a hell of a lot more if you want to even the odds.
I see the battle here has come to an end.
Oh, Avia.
I can't help but feel a little bummed that everything went exactly as I thought it would. Still, it just goes to show how much faith I have in your skills, my sweet Azure Chevalier.
Funny, I don't recall ever becoming yours. How's everything up top?
I think it's only a matter of time before the battle is decided. But we've caused enough trouble for the people of Ymir already. It's about time we brought this to a close. Fenestrum Phantasma. Window.
My apologies for not coming down to speak with you in person, ladies and gentlemen of Thors Military Academy. You know who I am, of course, but I am Duke Cayenne, ruler of the Lemaire province and supreme leader of the Noble Alliance.
Duke Cayenne?
So even the big guy himself is here.
I must say, what a curious group we have here. I'd heard as much, but allow me to extend my most heartfelt congratulations. My expectations have thoroughly been exceeded. When I saw young Eustace and Laura in Legram earlier this year, I could never have imagined this is how we would next meet. Oh, I'm sure your parents must have warned you against wandering off with such disreputable individuals on a number of occasions. But I suppose every child thinks that they alone know what is best for themselves. Duke Alberea was simply livid about what happened. But it can't hurt to learn more about the outside world, hmm?
Every word that leaves his mouth is condescending.
Did you come all the way here just to tell us that?
Don't be silly, child. Rean Schwarzer. I had this meeting arranged because I wanted to speak with you. Perhaps the method was a touch too garish for something so simple, but do forgive me for not formally requesting an audience.
With me?
With you. Allow me to get right to the point. I wish to invite you, Ashen Chevalier, aboard our flagship.
Wait,
I've heard all about your magnificent exploits across the land. And so I thought it would be nice to sit down and have a long, pleasant chat with you. About the past, the present, as well as your future.
Are you suggesting... You want Rean to join the Noble Alliance?
Should you accept my invitation, we will withdraw peacefully from Ymir. Furthermore, I give you my personal assurance that we will leave this village alone for the duration of this war. A fine proposition, is it not? Are we interested?
Very well. Allow me to accept your invitation.
Don't be an idiot! This is clearly a trap! They wouldn't come all the way out here and take you into their flagship if it weren't.
I appreciate your concern. Trap or not, this might be a good chance for us, too. I think I'd regret it if I let it pass. Balamar, transport Celine back outside.
Are you certain?
Now hold it right there!
Don't worry about me. The odds were against all of us getting back together, but we did it. And I'm sure we can do it again, too. So just wait with Emma for now. I'll be back before you know it. Balamar, if you would.
Very well.
But wait!
It seems the time has come for us to part ways once again. But remember this. You're an Alberea. There is power and dignity in that name. To whatever end you would use it, I want you to prove that the convictions you cling to are worthy of your loyalty. Not for my benefit, but for yours.
Wait!
Well met, Lord Schwarzer. It's a pleasure to see you again. Allow me to extend my apologies for the harm my father visited upon this town and its people.
Never mind that. What do you intend to do with my son? What is a promising young man like yourself?
We're simply going to borrow young Rean for a short while. There's nothing to worry about. I'm a busy man these days, though, so for now, I bid you adieu.
They all finally got back together, too. Why?
Sorry, but I'll be back, I promise. So stay safe.
Master Rean! Rean!
Ooh, Act 1 end. Ashen Chronicles. Everyone's bond strengthened. Level 4. Level 3. Level 3. Level 4. Level 3. Level 3. Level 3. Okay, so save. Okay, another trophy. Save over this one. Okay. guess we're moving on to Act 2. But first, more cutscenes. New Alliance Forces flagship aerial battleship Pantagruel. So this is what Duke Cain looks like from up close. It's hard to believe that I've ended up in the same room as the leader of the Noble Alliance. If we didn't meet back in Legram.
Rean Schwarzer. Truth be told, we don't want this war to drag on any more than you do.
Really?
We only acted as we did, due in part to our dearly departed Chancellor's behavior being far too unreasonable to justify turning a blind eye. He garnered the trust of His Majesty, and in turn misused that trust. He flagrantly disregarded this nation's beloved culture and traditions, treating Erebonia as if it were his own personal property. Surely you too noticed this.
Well...
Can't say I disagree. Did hear story after story during our field studies about how aggressive his policies were, about the way he didn't care how many enemies he made as a result, creating terrorist groups like the Imperial Liberation Front.
But as I said, the cause of our nation's ills is now gone. Now, all that remains is to turn back the hands of time just a touch, and the good old days of the Empire will be upon us once more. The key to this bright future lies in putting aside our differences and joining hands. Am I wrong?
I'm afraid that yes, you are. Do you honestly believe that people can so easily put aside their differences after all the Alliance has done? You occupied Heimdall and effectively took every one of its citizens hostage, imprisoned the Imperial family. And let's not forget how you're now in league with the enemy nation responsible for the destruction of Gorelia Fortress. After all that, the Imperial army would never bow their heads to the likes of you, even if the rest of the population did.
My word, I'm afraid there's been a terrible misunderstanding. The Imperial family is simply under our loving protection. They certainly haven't been imprisoned. But that does bring me to exactly why I want you to help us.
It does?
The Azure Knight is already on our side. But if we had your Ashen Knight as well, that would mean we'd have two of the great knights of Erebonian legend to put into play. Couple them with our Panzer Soldats, and the Imperial Army's armored divisions would cower before us. You may not find us winning the war ideal, but this union benefits everyone more than carrying on until our inevitable victory,
I don't think it's that simple.
I beg to differ. The presence of Soldats units on a battlefield makes a tremendous difference. What they may lack in firepower and armor compared to tanks, they make up for in mobility and versatility. But more important than even those factors is the psychological impact they have on our opponents.
Well...
We're only human. As such, we are as captivated as we are terrified of giant beings bearing human form. And if that holds true even for mass-produced soldats made with modern technology, it will be all the more true for the divine knights of legend you and Crow possess.
Can't argue with that logic.
I will say it once more. Gileath Osborne is dead, and with his death, all that's left to be done is end this ridiculous war and return order to the Empire. Only then will everything be as it should. That includes both your pleasant academy life and the peaceful days of darling Elise and her friend the princess.
Are you trying to...
Whatever you ultimately decide, their safety is guaranteed. I would ask that you promise him this, if nothing else, Your Grace.
But of course, I'm not a monster.
Rufus.
We may stand on opposite sides of this conflict, but I still sit on Thor's board of directors. And in that capacity, I suggest you consider carefully the choice before you. After all, every soldier must decide for himself whether a cause is worth fighting, perhaps even dying for. I look forward to hearing your answer.
Intermission? Okay. Aboard the Pantagruel. We're not moving on to chapter 2 or act 2 just yet. We have an intermission chapter. It's pretty glamorous, I must say.
All that's left to be done is end this ridiculous war and return order to the Empire. Only then will everything be as it should. That includes both your pleasant academy life and the peaceful days of darling Elise and her friend the princess.
I suggest you consider carefully the choice before you. After all, every soldier must decide for himself whether a cause is worth fighting, perhaps even dying for. I look forward to hearing your answer.
It's hard to argue about this war began because the noble faction went too far, but the longer it goes on, the more people are going to suffer. If I joined them, I could reduce the number of victims. Isn't that simple? At least the Princess Alphen are still in the Alliance's custody. What's the best thing I can do? What do all of us want to do?
Keep racking your brain like that and smoke will start coming out of your ears.